rain in Sector 4 didn't wash away the dirt. It just made the concrete slick and reflective. Tor 21 walked with his eyes fixed strictly 45 degrees toward the pavement, careful not to let his expression betray anything resembling an unauthorized expressions. A twitch of the eye, a tightening of the jaw, were logged by the optic sensors perched on every lamppost as face crime. Above him, plastered every 20 meters across the towering obsidian facade of the ministry, were the posters. The face on them was immense, framed by a heavy black mustache and eyes that seemed engineered to track movement. Beneath the image, the stark block letters read, "Big Brother is watching you." John turned into the vestibule of his residential block, the heavy metal door clanging shut behind him. Inside his room, the atmosphere was thick with the smell of boiled cabbage and synthetic gin. In the corner, mounted flush against the wall, sat the telescreen. It could not be turned off, only dimmed to a low humming glow that spewed endless statistics on synthetic grain production. Worker 421. The synthesized voice from the screen barked, sharp as a whip. "Maintain posture during rest cycles." "Acknowledged," John mumbled, squaring his shoulder. He walked over to the narrow window, pulling the grimy curtain back a fraction of an inch. Down in the courtyard, a patrol of the thought police, clad in spotless black leather, was loading a neighbor into a hover van. Mrs. Gable, 3 doors down. She had been caught muttering in her sleep. In Oceania, the mind was not a sanctuary. It was simply unmapped territory waiting to be audited. John let the curtain fall. He sat at his small iron desk, placing his hands flat on
was trying to sign into my Zoho.
Required weekly hind audit by ill-fated the rain over Sector 4. Wasn't cleansing. They nearly plastered the industrial ground to the concrete, making the plaza slick and reflective. Citizen 7418, registered as Elias, stood shivering in his gray jumpsuit, his boots numbing against the wet pavement. He stared at the back of the neck in front of him, trying not to think. That was the first rule of survival. Do not generate thought. Elias was in line. The line led to the audit station's heavy iron contraptions, humming with sterile power in the center of the square. Above them, the ministry, a looming monolith of dark steel, supervised. Its balconies were lined with the thought police, distinct in their bulky black armor, glowing orange optics cutting through the dim morning. He could feel the eyes. Every twitch, every elevated heart rate, every stray synaptic firing was categorized by the surveillance array perched on the surrounding buildings. Move forward 7418. The synthesized voice of the nearest guard barked, amplified and inhuman. Elias stepped up. He was forced into the audit chair. It was cold. Before he could react, the guards clamped the heavy metal helmet onto his head.
That's another
The interior bristled with sharp, icy probes. Do not resist. Just let the standard stream of compliant protocols wash over them up. He closed his eyes. The helmet didn't just read his mind. It projected, filling his vision with a rapid-fire sequence of symbols. The ministry's logo. The face of the Supreme Overseer. Endless statistics on synthetic grain production. Reporter 7418. Report status. The scanner voice, deeper and closer now, commanded. It wasn't O'Brien, Elias knew, but the machine that replaced him. Productive, Elias recited the practiced response, rolling out with no resistance. The machine was looking for the glitches. The memory of the black market book he'd found. The feeling of hope. The sensation of rebellion. It probed deeper, bypassing language, seeking the root of emotion. For 5 terrifying minutes, Elias felt his own thoughts being pulled from his skull, dissected and measured. A green light flashed on the guard's console. Elias's jumpsuit numbers were logged as compliant. The helmet lifted, gasping, and Elias staggered out, his head throbbing, but safe. Safe from the Ministry of Love. Safe from the thought police, and safe from himself. For 1 more week. A guard pushed the next citizen, 7400. Elias merged back into the ocean of gray jumpsuits and broken spirits, walking 45 degrees toward the pavement.